Hello, today we're going to draw a tiger's head in the style of a traditional tattoo. Start with a nice big blue circle, and then we're going to build some construction lines on top of it so we know where everything is, and then we'll look at the details and how to draw those. So we'll start with the eye line. That's about 2/3 of the way up, and then we'll put a line where the center of the face is going to run down. If you're wondering what this line is, I'll do a quick little demonstration up here for us. So we'll think of a person's face with a line down the middle, pair of eyes, nose in the middle, mouth at the bottom. And then let's say this guy looks to the right. This line here is now 3/4 of the way along. And our nose, which was flat, is now pointing out. He's probably rather unhappy because he's about to see a tiger. Carries on looking all the way around. This line, which has slowly been moving across, is now basically here. So here's our eye, here's our nose, and there's the mouth. So this line here is simply deciding where the middle of the face is. So let's start looking at some areas. So we'll start with the bridge of the nose, the very sort of top of the muzzle, and we'll pop a little circle in the middle for that. We'll do a circle on that side for the far eyebrow, and then because this one is now closer to us, it's going to be a little bit bigger. Below that, we can look at the muzzle, the nose area. It's going to sit slightly out from the edge of the eye. And it's probably going to meet about the middle here. So nice big circle for that guy. And then in the middle of the muzzle, nice big nose for our tiger. Either side of the tiger's nose, he's going to have his canines coming down. So nice big canines for this big tiger. And then for the bottom jaw, so we've got the teeth coming down, we'll have the teeth going up. It's going to be slightly offset to the right hand side because of where the jaw is going to be sitting. And then these bottom teeth, they're going to need to sit on the lower jaw, so we'll do another circle for that one. So what we've got so far, got the main tiger's head, got the bridge, the middle part, we've got the near eye, we've got the far eye, got the muzzle and the nose. Top teeth coming down, bottom teeth going up, and the lower jaw. So let's connect the lower jaw with the mouth up to the nose area. So that's going to be something like that there. And then on the other side, it would sort of sit around about there like that. We need the lower part of the jaw. So we've got this curve coming in like this. We'll now just go the opposite way and turn it into one big S curve. Jaw gets quite thin down here. We don't know how this is going to meet up with the cheek, so let's look at the top of the head. So this is the sort of top of our eyebrow kind of area. So let's just draw a line across there. And then we'll look at this ear, or the near ear. So it's going to start about the top of the eyebrows, and it's going to start a little bit beyond where this eye is sort of finishing. So maybe about half of this circle again. That gives us there, and we'll just put a nice little circle in as a placeholder. Top of the head is sort of coming around here, and so this ear on the other side is going to be roughly about there. Since we have the lower jaw here, and we know where our ear is, we can look at the cheek area. So the cheek is probably somewhere around about here. So we're starting out something looking at tiger's face. We know where the eyes are, we know where the nose is, we know how the mouth is formed, we've got the jaw coming into the cheek, and we know where our ears are. So that's pretty much all we need now to start looking at some details. So we'll add some details to this tiger and we'll bring him to life. I'm going to start with the near eye, and then we'll sort of move along each individual landmark as we come to it. So for this tiger, he's got a big, strong brow. So nice big C curve up here like this. And then we'll turn that into an S curve, kind of floating, raising up towards the back. So we'll go up and then down, up and down. I'll find with a lot of these lines, I'll sort of trace the line I want to do on the page first, and then commit with one nice clean line. Now the middle of the brow, tiger's got his mouth open, the Nose is pushed up, the muzzle's a little compressed. These little muscles in here are going to get compressed. So there'll be a little fold. So we can indicate that with a couple of little C shapes. And that gives us the bridge of the nose. For the far eye, this was going up that way, so we will go up like that with another S curve. And then we'll link that to the far side of his brow with a curve like that. Now we'll look at the nose in this circle here. We'll have the top of the nose within our circle, and we'll have the bottom nose at the bottom of the circle. The far side of the nose is sort of looking away from us, so a little curve, and then the middle bit for the nostril, that's going to kind of come the opposite way. And then with the little line, we'll sort of link these two with a big C curve. And then the same on this side. So we've got the nose. So let's link the nose up to the eyebrow area. So there's maybe a little crease in it, as I said, because he's got the mouth open, something like that. And then we can look at the muzzle. So the muzzle is going to sit within the rest of the nose circle we drew earlier. It's going to come out from the bottom and the middle of the nose, and then loop around something like that. The far muzzle is going to be slightly smaller because it's further away and facing away from us. So probably something like that. So you can see how these would join up. We now know where the muzzle is. We know where the eyebrows are, so we can put some eyes in. So the eyes just this sort of nice little teardrop kind of shape. And then on this side, because it's sort of mostly hidden by the nose, like that. And there's probably a little bit of cheek showing as well. For the teeth, 2 teeth curving down, 2 teeth curving up. So outside of the tooth is one curve, and then the inner curve like that. And on the opposite side, same again, but the opposite way around. Bottom teeth, exactly the opposite, but upside down. So curving around that way, and then opposites on this side, like that. So we now need the teeth to sit on the lips, and then we can get the jaw sorted. So the lips are going to kind of curve around the teeth. So we'll start on the side here, and we'll come under, following our blue construction line we did earlier, and then wrap around like that. And that'll give us the bottom of our lip. And we can connect this up to where the nose is. So it's probably a little bit of an S curve like this. So we'll have a think about the shape, find the rhythm with our hand, and then make one nice line. Tiger's going to need some lips, so we'll just finish off some lips. So we can just bring a line, and then we'll draw that parallel to this one. Like that. Teeth. So how many teeth are we having? Maybe 5 on the top, 4 on the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4. The tongue, so we can clean his fur. So here's the tip of the tongue. Nice big semicircle for the tip of the tongue. And then the tongue is kind of going down into the mouth and then kind of curling up into the back of the mouth. So as it comes out the back of the mouth, kind of curls down under and then comes up to the tip here. So that sort of shape then becomes like that. And then the other side of the tongue will be roughly parallel to that one. And as you can see, there's just a little bit of the inside of his mouth on this side showing, connecting this side of the jaw up to there. So we can put that one in as well. So that's most of the mouth sorted. We'll get the fur done on his chin and then into the beard. So for the fur on the chin, there's a few ways of doing this. You can sit here and draw every single individual one, or you can try and find a little rhythm with your hand. I like sort of a backwards and forwards kind of motion like that. Or if you're using this type of grip, it's a similar sort of thing. And once you find that rhythm, it's just a case of then angling your arm as you go around, and you'll find the angle of the fur, because the fur is sort of kind of going in that direction. So we'll go up, down like this. And as we reach the chin, we'll get in there. So just kind of rough lines. We can tidy this up later on. So the chin, as we said, the sort of bottom of the chin is here. And it sort of described this bottom curve, and then we kind of turned it into an S curve when we're looking at the blue lines. And that sort of shows that thinness of the jaw. So we'll keep that line like that. We roughly know where the cheek is, but let's kind of look at the top of the head, and we're just following the same lines that we did for our construction. So for the ear, we sort of started this as our starting point. So it's going to be one big S curve up to the tip of the ear. So starting at the base of the ear, find the motion with our hands, and then one nice line. And then for the top of the ear, it's a sort of similar thing, point, catching up to it. Like that. And then for the bottom of the ear, as it kind of loops around, decide how big the ear wants to be, whether it's a very big ear or a very small ear. I might go somewhere like here, and then a little curve coming in. When we originally drew our first blue circle, that was kind of describing the main part of the head, which we've kind of kept in. So let's look at the forehead. Tigers have relatively broad brows and sort of flat kind of heads. So we can follow this line, which we found for the center line, all the way back, and we'll kind of just go slightly beyond outside of the circle, like that. And then for the far side of the brow, forehead area, like that, and we'll just connect this one down into the brow. Ear. So top of the ear on this side, it's roughly about there actually. So just a gentle S curve from the base all the way to the tip. And then like that to get the front of the ear, and then the back of the ear as it comes down, roughly in line with that one. So somewhere about like that. So that's our top of the head done. We've got the jaw, we've got the nose, got all the eyes area. So same principle for the fur, and we'll get this cheek drawn in. So again, sort of the fur is going to be coming in this direction and sort of wrapping around and then sort of tucking under the chin. So let's have a go at that. Okay, so we've got some tiger fur there. What else do we need to do? We'll need some eyes. So nice big round eyes so we can see his prey. There we go. And round eye on that side. And he's looking kind of down and to the left. So somewhere right there. Give him some whiskers. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Make that one a bit longer. There we go. And then maybe it's a little bit tufty ear fur. And that's mostly done. So stripes. Tigers need some stripes. A few different ways of drawing stripes. We can sort of go with a sort of a classical kid's seagull kind of shape and then fill in the background like that. Sometimes rather than just trying to draw over individual stripe, just let the pencil move over the paper and see kind of where you get. And maybe you end up with a like that. For the forehead, tends to be a little bit symmetrical on either side, so how about we do a little S curve and then the opposite way on that side, just slightly shorter. And then maybe another stripe, so that same curve again. Okay, so we're just finding where the rhythm's going to be. I think we can squeeze one more in, can't we? There we go. Okay, so that's pretty much our tiger all done. A quick recap and then we'll see if we can have some fun. Started with the circle. We found the center of where the face is. We found roughly the eye line. Once we knew where the eye line was, we could work out where the muzzle was, the nose, and then the canine teeth going down, at which point we could then find the canine teeth coming up. If you want your tiger's mouth to be slightly more open, just move the teeth down and have the jaw wider. Again, if you want your tiger's mouth slightly more closed, then just move the teeth up and that'll just alter the position of the jaw. Bottom of the jaw was connected to the teeth, and then we found the jawbone in here. Before we could find the cheek, we looked up here and found where the ear was, the forehead, and then the far ear, and then we could join the cheek up with the, we could join the top of the cheek with the bottom of the cheek. So that's our tiger. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you do want to do this one at home, then yeah, grab some paper and some pencils and have a watch of the video, and you can just pause it at each step to work out where all the various land masses and landmarks are going.